Probably one of the biggest reasons I would recommend Future State is because of the results. The results were there. Once we looked at a process and were able to get to the root cause of what was holding us back, to the root cause of the constraint, and fix those issues, the results showed themselves. The numbers increased. You could see it happen. You could see the flow coming through the shop once we started getting things going there. So I would definitely highly recommend Future State. So my name is Titus Yoder, and I've been working in the manufacturing field for, it's going on 22 and a half years now. So I've been doing that a while. I started out in production and moved into management and was a supervisor on the production side of things for about 10 years. And then also I moved into the manufacturing technician side of things, which is on the continuous improvement. I've done that for about 6 years now, and it's been going well. I've been learning a lot. But getting into the lean manufacturing side of things and just learning at how to work through those and to make our flow better in our company there. So that's kind of been my background. So before Future State came on the scene there, we seemed like we didn't have a good product flow. It was like, so we have two plants, and plant 2 was always short work. It's like we could never make enough at plant 1. We just couldn't keep the product there for them and to get it on the shelf. Plant 1 is where we start our process. We go from the forge operation. We forge our pliers, drop forge our pliers, and we go all through the heat treat process, machining process as well at plant 1. And then at plant 2, when we ship it over there, we do some polishing, we assemble them, and we put the finishing touches on the product and put it on the shelf. And so it was like, so it's kind of like partway through the process of where we had the trouble. We just couldn't keep them in business there, so our customer, so to speak, internal customer, and we couldn't keep them supplied like we should. We had a lot of excessive inventory at plant 1. Seems like we had a lot of WIP. In fact, we had gotten to the point where we had enough WIP that we had too much product, and we were running out of pans and running out of tubs. And we were to the point of actually getting ready to purchase more pans. That's where we were at because we couldn't make the product flow like we should to plant 2. Part of the problem was we had too large of a batch size. So we would spend too much time on a product. Meanwhile, the other stuff would sit. And it was just a slow process of getting everything through. Also, we had a lot of unplanned downtime. So the unplanned downtime, we were always fighting fires. We weren't able to get to the equipment with the PMs and so on, rebuilds like we needed to. And therefore, we ended up with a lot of unplanned downtime, which definitely causes a lot of issues when you know anything about production. So just like any project, whenever you have change, there can be frustrations. And just to be honest, there was frustrations. Of course there was. It's hard to change. It's hard to change the culture when you've been in a company a long time. You have a lot of associates who've been there a long time, and this is the way we've always done it. And so to change that mentality and to change that culture was a tremendous challenge, to say the least. But some of the highlights was one of the biggest things was how Future State was willing to work with us and willing to work with what we had and using a common sense approach And not that we had to go and spend tons of money to buy other equipment or to come in with this huge different way of thinking. It was a different way of thinking, but it was a good way, and it made sense when we started implementing it. And so the highlight of just the positive attitude that Future State had and working with us and being willing to give us the tools we needed, and being able to roll up their sleeves and get to work right with us and show us how to do it was huge. That was just huge. Yes, seeing the results of being able to know where our product was, how much we had of that product at the operations. In the previous state, we didn't know where everything was at. It was hard to find things. I would go out and look on the floor, couldn't find it. Well, then once we started implementing things, we had visibility of where our product was on the floor. And that was a huge step in just knowing where we were at in the process and how close to the door our product was, getting it to our internal customer, but then also to our getting it on the shelf and being able to ship it to our customers outside the plant there as well. So the one particular, we were able to, in our heat treat process, we found out we had a big constraint. And a lot of that was due to the equipment not running like it should. We had a lot of downtime. The equipment wasn't functioning because we didn't have it set up properly. We weren't able to make adjustments like we needed to because there was a vision system on it. And once we realized what we were up against, Future State was able to help us recognize that, digging in deeper there and getting to the root cause of what was really causing our constraint there. We jumped considerably in the production on that piece of equipment. That was a huge success. And in fact, now we're still having trouble even keeping enough product there to really even to cause a constraint. We haven't had that issue since we've done that. And so that's been a huge win for us there. So in the shipping results, we were getting anywhere from around, just over 100,000, somewhere maybe a little more at 120. And we were able to jump that up probably by another 20 or 30,000, sometimes even more, since we've done this it's been tremendous, what that's done for us. I would say right off the top, my favorite part was just with Future State was the positive energy that flowed. It got me motivated. I was able to motivate the team. But then also the common sense approach, because in times past, we've dealt with other companies and it wasn't that case. It was either the highway or it was either their way or the highway. And with Future State, it was so refreshing that they used a common sense approach and said, "Look, we can use what you have, and we're going to be able to get this better." And it was just a tremendous help knowing that we had somebody who had our back and who was helping us through these hurdles that we were facing. Probably one of the biggest reasons I would recommend Future State is because of the results. The results were there. Once we looked at a process and were able to get to the root cause of what was holding us back, to the root cause of the constraint, and fix those issues, the results showed themselves. The numbers increased. You could see it happen. You could see the flow coming through the shop once we started getting things going there. So I would definitely highly recommend Future State. And just the common sense approach was very refreshing, and their willingness to work with us where we were at in our process.